on somebody else to pay you in a job or with your own business, that a single flu can completely wipe out your financial plans that you've been putting in place for decades, just like that. It's sad, but it's true. But here's the good news, guys. 2020, we know 2020 vision means to have perfect eyesight. For me, the year 2020 is there to give us the perfect insight, to see how most of us are literally 1 month away from financial ruin when we don't see how precarious a line that we are currently walking on when it comes to our finances. But the good news is we can change the whole thing around, because I'm going to be teaching you how you can sell anything to anybody, anywhere, at any time, so that you're completely recession-proof, so that you don't have to worry what's going on in the external environment whatsoever, because you're going to be dealing in certainties. You're going to be dealing in things that never change, and you're going to be learning skills that in 2 months from now, you will be in the top 0.5% of the most knowledgeable people planet on this topic. And if you want to be getting results like this, for example, I know I haven't updated this in a week, but this is examples of some of my websites right now. So this is one website: June 13, $17,000, June 12, $20,000, June 11, $23,000, June 10, $26,000, June 9, $10,000, June 8, $5,000, June 7, $19,000, June 6, $9,000, May 30th, $11,000, May 29, $25,000, May 28, $42,000, May 27, $103,000. The last 7 days here, 204,000. The last 4 weeks, 552,000. These are in dollars because that's the global currency that most people obviously know what their direct translation is to that. It doesn't matter if it's pounds or whatever it is, but this is dollars in this case. This account, last 7 days, 98,000. Last 4 weeks, 408,000. And June in this one, 87,000. May, 578,000. April, 493,000. February, 329,000. Why am I showing this? Because I want to show you in the world right now, when everyone around you is telling you, oh, you got to be careful, you got to be really, really watchful now what's going on, you got to hold on to that job, etc. That there are people that are spending more money than ever before. Right now in 2020, there's never been more money ever spent on the internet. And there are people like me that know exactly how to use this time to actually continue to grow their business. And that's what I'm here to show you today. Type in "me, please" if you would like to start seeing numbers like this, which for most people are more than what people paid for in a decade or even 2 decades. Well, we'll make them in a day in some cases, right? Fantastic. Now, here is who this is for. If you own a business, type in number 1. Type in number 1 if you own a business, just to let me know, please. Okay, number 2. Type in number 2 if you want to be an influencer. You've no problem speaking in front of people. You want to be in front of videos. You want to create your own content. You've got a message to share. You've got all that kind of stuff. There are some of you out there, probably 20%. That's what it looks like, okay? My guess is that at least half of you here tonight fall into the 3rd category. You don't have a business. You don't have a product. You don't have a service. You don't even like social media. In fact, you keep an eye on what's going on, but you don't get involved. You'd like to make a side income from it, but you don't want anybody to know it's you. You want to be hidden in the background, but you definitely would like to see the money coming in. You know there's money there, but you'd love to learn how without you being involved, you being hidden in the background. Type in 3 if that's you, right? Of course, that's most people. You don't even like social media. I don't even like social media, and I've written the best-selling book about it, right? You don't need to like how regular people use something in order to fall in love with what it can do to your bank account. We're not here today to think social media. We're here to rethink it. We're not here looking at it the way most people do, with selfies and pictures of their kids and whatever they're up to, right? We're here to look behind the curtain, behind the scenes, and look at a 4-step process that enables you to cash in on this rather than being cashed in on. Okay, so here's the 4-step process that I'm going to be going through with you over the next hour or so, and I really want you to grab your pens and papers that you don't miss a single thing, because I'm really going to be sharing with you exactly how to get going with this. The first step is picking the niche or the business area that makes it easy for you. You're not going into this to reinvent the wheel or to test an idea. You are going in to make money. You're going into where the problems lie already. Make it easy on yourself and pick a niche that already exists. Then we go to social media and we find people that have a specific problem that we're going to solve. Now, what I want you to be aware of is you don't need a solution. You don't need to have the product. You don't need to have the service, not whatsoever, right? It's not even any form of a disadvantage to you. You can have one or you don't have to have one. It doesn't matter. Then we invite people out of the clutter of social media and into our database, into our email list. We offer them something for free. You've seen this hundreds of times before. It's how you ended up on this webinar this evening. You entered your details, you press submit, and you came onto this, right? And then the final stage is automating the process of making money from this by offering products and services that people really want to buy. Ideally, the best-selling products and services that exist, rather than having to find stuff that you don't even know if it works yet. So let's start going through this process and talking about finding your niche, right? And let's keep it super simple. As Zig Ziglar says, you can have everything in life you want if you would just help enough other people get what they want. Very, very important. It doesn't say follow your passion, turn your passion into profit, figure out what people need and give it to them. No. It says you can have everything you want if you would just start by giving others what they want. What do people want? They want three things. Primarily, they want to be healthier, they want to be happier, and they want to be wealthier. Regardless of where you go around the world, this is the consistent theme. So when you're starting out, you pick one, just one of these niches to begin with, right? Follow one course until successful. Focus, one niche only, right? But the beauty of these niches is, number one, people are spending their money in them every single day. Number two, the products already exist. Millions of them. They already exist with proven websites, proven conversions. They already exist. You could start signing up and selling them today. Thirdly, they're completely addictive. The healthier you are, the more money you spend on health. The wealthier you are, the more money you'll invest in wealth. The happier you are, the more money you spend in the pursuit of happiness, right? So people don't just buy a one-time product in health, right? It's a lifetime commitment to a series of products and solutions over decades. So this is why you pick one of these. Keep it simple. The products exist, the services exist, the demand is there, and people are spending their money every single day on it. So start with that. Pick a simple one. Even mentally right now, you can start choosing it and start to think about which one of those you're going to start off with. Then we move to social media. Why? Because this is where the people are at. Now, let me explain the model here that should fill you with confidence in knowing that why this is the best business model you could ever focus on. In a world where we are constantly told that everything we know is going to change, what if I told you this model is built on certainty, not uncertainty? That in a world where there's a 96% chance of failing with a traditional business, that this gives you a 100% chance of success, right? That's why this model is so incredibly valuable to you. You may not even understand how powerful it is because it comes across so simple, but let's explain it in a way that you will. So we're told that everything's going to change. I have no interest in it being in a business where everything's going to change. I want to be in a business where the things are going to stay the same, where there's certainty. And there are three key foundations to this business model that are never going to change. One, people will always have problems. Two, people will always spend their money. In fact, they're so disciplined in spending their money, they set up automated direct debits and standing orders to make sure the money leaves their bank account each month in case they forget to spend it. And three, business owners of traditional companies will continue to go out of business at the pace of 96% chance of failure, right? This is consistent. It's happened forever. Now, how do we fix this? We position ourselves in the middle. We introduce the best-selling products in the planet to the people that are looking for them. And just by that very simple move, you can relax as a business owner, and all of the panic stations that you live through as an entrepreneur or as a business owner disappear. Things like, but what if somebody comes in with a better product? What if my product is disrupted? What if a new technology comes out that gets rid of my product? What happens when my product expires? What happens if I can't sell enough of them before they go out of date? What happens if somebody rips this off in China and breaches my patent? All of those things are probably going to happen. So what you do when you know those things are going to happen, you put systems in place to work around it. You say, well, hang on, why do I need to be the person doing all the work? Why do I need to create the products, provide the customer service, and innovate and come up with all these ideas? Why don't I just do this simple thing? Introduce the best-selling products to the people looking for them. Now type in 1 if you're thinking, yeah, but Paul, if it was that easy, wouldn't everybody else be doing it? Type in 1 if the gremlins have already appeared and they're saying that right now. And it's okay to be honest, right? I get it. When someone like me comes on, you're initially going to be very hesitant, skeptical. It's the internet, I'm not so sure. That's why I applaud you for being here, because that is exactly what I thought, right? And isn't it funny that we ask the question anytime we see an opportunity, why isn't everybody else doing this? Why aren't the people with no money doing this? There must be something wrong with this problem because the broke people aren't doing it. It's a really strange question, right? Really, the question should be, and I used to always ask that question, why aren't the people with no money doing this so if it's that easy? The question should be, well, are the wealthy people doing this? Type in 2 if you see why that's a better question. Well, are wealthy people doing this? Let's prove this actually by wealthy people do. Okay, exactly, right? Well, let's look at Uber, the world's largest taxi company. It doesn't own any cars. Facebook, the world's largest content provider, doesn't create any content. Hertz, USA and Canada went bankrupt this month, while Uber and Lyft, the 2 largest taxi companies, don't own a single car. Alibaba, the world's largest store, has no inventory. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation site, has no real estate. Booking.com, Hotels.com, Trivago.com, Expedia.com, they don't own any hotels. Amazon.com doesn't write a single book. eBay doesn't create a single product. And what about banks that have been with us for thousands of years? They don't print money. They take money off the first person in the line and they sell it to the person behind them and they call it interest to keep that person interested in coming back and doing it again. Type in wow if you just had a moment here of realizing, oh my God, I never noticed that. I never noticed that none of these businesses, who are some of the most successful in the planet, don't take any of the traditional risks of business. They don't take any of the risks. They become the matchmakers. They don't open B&Bs. They don't get up at 6 a.m. to cook breakfast for 15 people and then make the beds for the rest of the day. They haven't even been to the B&B. They just put people into a spare room, right? This is the world that we live in today, and business are so far behind and people are not even aware of it. And that's why sometimes things are so close to us that we don't see the wood from the trees. So you could literally be making money promoting anything on Amazon, anything on eBay, booking your own holiday on booking.com. You could be making money from when you know how to do this. In fact, you will save more money in the next few months than you will ever invest in me just by changing your behavior online when you realize, hang on, if I'm spending money, someone else is making it, so I should be making some of this too. And of course, like most people, I used to think the internet was a scam, even though all of these companies are internet-based. But speaking of scams, one of the things that's come to our attention a lot recently in the media is the number trillion, and $1 trillion especially, because it's been used a lot in the US economy with the $2 trillion rescue package. And sometimes when we hear trillion followed by the word dollar, we lose sight of how big that number is. So let's change currency to time to compare a million versus a trillion. A million seconds is 12 days. A billion seconds is 32.8 years. A trillion seconds is 32,800 years. That gives you perspective, I hope, that there's a big difference between a million and a trillion, right? Why do I share that? Because $1.6 trillion is the US government's #1 asset. What is that? Outstanding student loan debt. Let me repeat that. Outstanding student loan debt. Yes. Funny, right? US government's #1 asset are loans given to students, right? The average student in the US, it costs $37,000 a year to go to an average college. $37,000 a year. That's a loan of about $130,000 to go to college for 4 years, excluding some of the expenses, the regular expenses of going to college. The average person in the US spends $600,000 on interest on debt alone in a lifetime. Doctors in the US don't pay back their student loans until they're in their 50s. The only loan you cannot declare bankruptcy on is a student loan. I have a bit of a feeling that when people are talking about scams, they are looking completely in the wrong direction. Because sometimes when so many people are doing something in plain sight that people could think it just couldn't possibly be the case. But we know when you go to college, you don't use what you learned. And you're about to go into debt for 20 years. And then our parents say, hey, it's time to get a mortgage. Coming from the word mortir in Latin, meaning to die. Mortgage literally means debt until death. So come on, kids, quickly. It's time you grew up. It's time to get some debt until death. But mommy, it doesn't make any sense. Why am I worse off financially than our 5-year-old niece? Don't ask silly questions. Just go and get into debt quickly, right? It makes no sense, but because enough of us do it, we just continue to do it. It's complete madness. It's time to rethink it, right? It's time to have an open mind and think, interesting, I've actually followed all the rules that I was told to do, but I'm not where I want to be financially, right? So add the coronavirus in on top, and what happens then? $2 trillion of a rescue package, right? Sounds great. The next generation have to pay it. In March of this year, in 1 week, 6.6 million people filed for unemployment benefits. Now, I know these are all American figures, but it's the same across the world. In the UK, and the figures are very, very similar. Obviously not in terms of volume, but in terms of percentage, yes. Until March of 2020, the worst week ever for unemployment filings was 695,000. And that was 38 years ago. Just to give you perspective, we've got 10 times worse in a 38-year period. So we're not going forwards. We're going backwards at pace. Now, that's the end of the bad news. I just want to make you super clear that you need to be aware of this stuff, because sticking your head in the sand is not a solution. The fact that everybody else is in the same boat is not a good solution either. It just happens that the boat is the Titanic, right? We're going deeper into debt, and nobody seems to be even looking for a life jacket or a life raft to get out of there onto a speedboat and find a new way of living, right? But the good news is that's what this is all about. You decide how much money you want to make, how much money you're comfortable with, and you build your online business to suit. So for example, if you want to make an extra £5,000 per month, right, you would build an email list of a specific size. What size? Well, it comes down to this very simple maths. On average, you make £1 per email address per month. £1 per email address per month. So if you wanted to make an extra £5,000 a month, you would build an email list of 5,000 people. Now, do you think if you got to £5,000 a month with your list that you're going to stop there and say, oh, I'm going to stop now because I've matched my salary? Or do you think, I'm just going to keep going because this takes no extra time? Of course you're going to keep going, right? £10,000 equals 10,000 people on your list. So rather than exchanging time for money, which is what we've been trained to do in school, you actually change the whole equation up so that your income is an outcome of the amount of people that you help, not the hours that you work. And that is where freedom comes from. So let's show a very quick example here so that you understand what we're talking about here in terms of return on investment. If it costs you £1 to get an email address, which is very possible with today's ads and the prices of them, and you make an average £1 per person per month, that means you spend £1 to make £12 in a year. That's 1,100% return on investment. That's why I suggest you look at this stuff, right? Because how much can you lose from £1 in an ad, right? You could say £1, but you don't lose the £1, you still get the email address, right? So you literally are learning a system where there's no downside, there's nothing to lose. You cannot wake up in the morning and get shocked that something happened in the economy and something shot up or shot down. It doesn't matter, right? You are literally able to sell anything to anybody, anywhere, at any time, just like you're able right now on the internet to buy anything, anywhere, at any time. It's just being on the other side. And sometimes people say, but I just don't know what to sell. It's like saying, I just don't know what to buy. You're never going to run out of things to buy, just like you're never going to run out of things to sell. It's just stopping thinking as a consumer and starting thinking as the producer, the person making the money. So the goal of us on social media is not to be there to be entertaining or to take selfies or any of that stuff that people think it's about. And a lot of people make a lot of money talking about this all the time, but check their bank accounts, right? That doesn't pay the bills. Engagement doesn't pay the bills. What you need to do is get people from social media into your database, and that's where the money comes from. We don't sell on social media. People aren't there to be sold to. They want to be entertained. They want to be educated. So what we do is we politely invite them to come across into our domain, and that's when we can do the selling in private. We market in public, we sell in private. And this system works for absolutely anybody and everybody who does it, from as young as 11 years of age to into their 80s, because it's supply and demand. It's standard economics. It's giving people what they want. But you just, first of all, got to learn what is the process to do that. And all it is pressing buttons on your computer. It's not hard, right? It's not hard. It's pressing buttons on your computer. You don't even need to get out of your pajamas to do this. So Runa, for example, made £100,000 in 4 hours with this system. Now, before I get into success stories, I need to be super clear with you. He didn't learn it in an hour. He did a training program with me. He came to a workshop, right? And I just, full disclosure, my team, my coaching team, they run workshops, or at least they used to run workshops in London back before March. The good news is, well, there is no really good news about it anymore, in that you could go online and you used to be able to buy tickets for $4,997 plus that, but they're completely booked out. We've got a massive waiting list of people who are due to come since the start of the year. So honestly, you go to the site right now, you will not be able to even pay that money, even if you wanted to. But this is the good news. You learn in advance, right? It doesn't actually matter when a workshop is on for you right now, because we teach you before you come to the workshop. We're unique in that way, in that we make sure you know everything and have all the material before you ever come to see us in person, because by then you'll have your business up and running. You can already be making money from it, and you can get access straight away to jump in and get going. Now, Janet here is a great example where her first Facebook ad, she spent £8 and turned it into £1,400 in literally 12 hours. What did she do? She panicked and she turned off the ad. And I played a video, except I'm a little bit behind. And she says, but I just did exactly what he said. And I panicked. I said, this can't be legal. How could it be legal to make that kind of money in 12 hours? And these are the types of, as I said earlier, problems don't go away, but it's a kind of nice type of problem to have, where suddenly you see, wow, okay, this isn't the way money's been flowing in my life up until now. Now, this is by no means exceptional. I'm just using these examples to show you people that are not technical, people that are not experts on the internet. Alison, 63-year-old grandmother with 3 grandkids in her care, worked double shifts in an off license. She started doing the program. She said, Paul, I think of it like a cookbook recipe. Said, you might know the ingredients, but if you don't know the time and temperature to put it in the oven and how to mix the ingredients, it goes in a mess, it comes out a mess. She's gone on to be making over £10,000 per month from her online business. And here's the thing, you don't need to be technical. Saying I'm not technical is an excuse. It's an excuse for somebody who doesn't have a big enough reason why. Not being technical means I'm not willing to press some buttons. That's literally what it means. All you need to do is have the belief that Alison has, which was this: if somebody else can do this, then so can I. And you absolutely can. If somebody else can do this, then so can I. And I want you to take a picture of this. This is the 9 steps to your success online. So grab your phone right now and take a quick picture of this, the 9 steps that are required to get up and running with a super successful business, all focusing on the middle point of making money. So how to become an expert when you're not one, how to pick your niche, how to build your database to match the amount of money that you want to make. Where do you find the products to sell? What are you going to sell? How do you sell products that can make you up to $4,000 from a single sale? What's the mindset you need from a financial perspective to master all of this, right? Now, just before I get into more detail on the making money side of this, I'd like to talk a little bit about myself so you get an idea about my background. I worked in a corporate job for 9 years. I'm Irish, as you're probably guessing. I live in Ireland half the year, in Cyprus the other half. And it's I'm living a different life than I expected. I fly over 100 times a year. I get to travel to incredible places, but I never ever considered, up until I was 30 years of age, that not only that I would work on the internet, but that I would even have a business. I know there's no entrepreneurs in my family. There's no business history in my family. Both my parents are teachers. So I never even considered this, because I thought you need to be technical, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to have business experience, you need to have products, you need to have services, you need to be good at computers, you needed to like social media. None of those were boxes ticked by me. And here's the good news. I'm not here to teach you how to get yourself a new job here. I can do this because I find better people than me to do this stuff, more qualified. And you can get people for £3 to £4 an hour that will do this for you, that are more qualified. You might think that sounds incredible, but look, you're only one step away from knowing the next thing, right? The reason you're not where you want to be is because you just don't know something. You don't know what it is that you need to get to that next level. It's learning these skills and having somebody else do it for you to free up your time and your money so that you can spend the precious years that we have on this planet the best way possible. Now, how did I come across all of this? This is why I want to tell you my story, is because how does someone in the corporate world, following the corporate ladder, suddenly make a shift to this, right? And run a business from the back garden, right? Quite simply, I went to an event in Ireland in 2009 in Dublin. And in fact, there's a picture of me at it. Oh, that's not it. This is it here. And I'm sitting in the front row. I called in sick for the first day in 9 years. I have my work laptop with me, which I must give back. And it's all American speakers, all into their whoop, whoop, everything is awesome type of thing. And literally, people were walking out of the room. Irish people are the most skeptical on the planet. We don't buy into this kind of stuff. Now, one guy said, stand up and massage the shoulders of your neighbors. Like, we're Irish. We don't even touch our own family. We have been doing social distancing naturally for generations. It's always been something that we do here before it became in vogue, right? We don't drink because we enjoy it. We drink because we need to procreate, right? So this is where we're coming from. And we're looking at these guys talking about making millions on the internet and saying, well, it's obviously a scam. Of course it's a scam, because if it was this easy, wouldn't everybody else be doing it? Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, right? Justifying to ourselves that this couldn't be right. In fact, hoping that these guys were lying, because you don't like to hear about something that is possibly way easier. You just haven't been aware of it. One speaker got up on stage and he said, this is funny because you think we're here to brainwash you. And he said, ironically, you are so brainwashed you don't even see the difference. He said, you believe that the first 21 years of your life is about getting letters after your name. In other words, getting qualifications. He said, I have found that a much better measure of wealth, rather than letters after your name, which you believe to be true, are numbers in your bank account. And when he said it, it completely rocked my world, because never until that moment had anybody questioned the system that I was following. I just assumed that this has to be right because everybody else is doing it. This is what we've learned in school. This is what we learned in college. This is what the person next to me is doing. He said, well, what about professors and universities, the people that reach the peak of academia? He said, they cycle to work. He said, I've got 2 Lamborghinis. He said, it's your choice. But if you check their bank accounts versus my bank accounts, you're going to see a significant difference. Their wealth is up here, not in their bank accounts. And it really, really annoyed me, because then I think, well, are these strangers telling the truth? Or are all the families and friends and the people and peers that I know for years, are they speaking the truth? Well, you know what? The bank accounts tell the truth. The people around me were all struggling financially. If you looked at me from the outside, I was successful in a corporate job. But you don't carry around your bank account details with you so that people can see your balance. But if they could, the outside perception of being successful was not indeed the case. In fact, most people are what you could call rich broke. They look rich on the outside, but if you see their bank accounts, they're broke. They owe that money to somebody else. So this was the first time I understood when Mark Twain said, I never let my schooling get in the way of my education. Because I realized not only was I going in the wrong direction, I was going in the wrong direction at speed, like most people. So what did I do? I swallowed my pride. I didn't tell my friends or family about it, and I invested in 3 courses that weekend. I stuck 10,000 euros that I didn't have on a credit card, and I decided I have to make this happen. I said, what's the worst that could happen? I can't lose it. I've got an education. I'm learning how to sell anything to anybody, anywhere, at any time. If I don't learn it, how are things going to get any better in my job, right? The worst thing here is I never use it, but the upside is incredible. I've gone on to make tens of millions of dollars since then, and that was 2009. And my perspective was simple. The internet's a scam. If it was this great, wouldn't everybody else be doing it? And the people around me say, it's okay, everybody's in the same boat. But like I said earlier, it's the Titanic. What happens when you live in a madhouse and you're surrounded by crazy people is that nobody thinks they're crazy, because you measure your sanity by everybody else, right? So it's kind of an interesting thing to think, right? That Einstein says this, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? But most people still continue to do that. They go back and do the same thing. But what if we change the perspective and say, you know what? I'm spending so much money on the internet. There must be somebody making it. And indeed, the wealthiest people in the world, the vast majority of their wealth comes directly from the internet. And that's the thing. If you take advice around your friends that may not have money about what you should do with your money, there's only one way it's going to go, right? Your money's going to go down. But if you take advice from people who have it and who are wealthy, things change. You cannot learn how to run a successful business from a lecturer in a university who's learned from a textbook that was written 20 years ago, possibly even by then. The theory of business, right? You wouldn't get into a car with a teenager who said, hey, I've just passed my theory test. You say, well, have you driven a car yet? No, exactly. How are you expected to run a business when you're learning the theory from somebody who's never ran one themselves? How can you get wealthy from teachers who've never learned how to become financially free themselves, right? We don't ask these questions because they're uncomfortable. Why are your 10-year-olds, the 10-year-old on your street that you know, why are they better off financially than you as a 40-year-old? Doesn't make sense, but if enough people do it, we call it okay, right? Every religion was once upon a time called a cult until enough people followed the belief system, right? So here's the thing. This is where I'm from, Limerick in Ireland, Stab City as it's known. This is me as a 7-year-old, right? You might wonder, wow, what happened? God, time wasn't very kind. Well, you're right. Alcohol happened, of course, right? So I followed my passion, and this is where I ended up for most of the 90s. But I got lucky. Somebody left a laptop by my trolley, and I went on to make millions on the internet. Why do I say that? Because almost every story that I heard that day in Dublin sounded like something like that. And I remember thinking, this is just crazy. This can't be accurate. The truth of the matter for me is both my parents were teachers. So imagine as you're running home from school every day and get closer to home, you're thinking, what's the rush? What is the point? There's 2 more teachers waiting for me. So it was always going to happen that I ended up following the academic route, doing exams, getting myself a permanent job that didn't turn out to be that permanent. But everything changed for me at that event. And I really would like for you guys to sitting at home right now to think that this is your moment. This is this decision point for you, where you can actually decide, you know what? I've spent long enough, decades, giving this other process a chance, and it doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere fast. Why don't I change track? Why don't I stop listening to the people who are broke and start listening to the people who have got more money? It doesn't make them better people or worse people. It's just they're doing things differently. That is exactly how I justified it to myself. And that's why I want to thank Darren and his team, because he has given you that exact same opportunity. Please type in thank you, if you don't mind, into Darren right now, just to say thank you, Darren, because he is giving you that exact same opportunity as I did, right? Whatever else happens, your mind will have been opened. There's no excuses. You can't say you haven't been told, right? And that's the most important thing, is that I can help you rethink this. Now, I did go to see Tony Robbins. I did do all of that stuff. I did end up quitting my job when I shouldn't have. And, you know, I jumped up the stage, I got all motivated and felt like I'd literally touched God and that we'd had this deep connection. But look, the point of the matter was following your passion, right? Live with passion and fake it till you make it. They're not strategies for success, right? They get you hyped up and amped up. What you need is a clear path towards your destination, with a coach beside you telling you how fast to run, when to slow down, how to run by obstacles or how to jump over them before you even see them. Unfortunately, like Darren, I get to speak all over the world and have done for over a decade to thousands of people all over the world. And you get to meet, you know, lots of people that you wouldn't expect ever in your older life, and suddenly it becomes real. Now, Tony, I've got to speak with Tony multiple times on stage. Look at the size of his hand. Ladies, I'm sure you saw it earlier. But when I got to speak with Tony for the first time, it's almost 5 years ago now on stage, I never would have believed this was possible. But for those of you that would say, Paul, I don't want to be a speaker, I don't want to be a public figure, that's the beauty of this. You do not need to be whatsoever. This is one particular business of mine, speaking, right? But we have businesses where I'm completely hidden in the background, where nobody ever needs to know it's you. Within a year of starting, I've made my first $1 million with my business partner. In a year, with no business experience, having never been an entrepreneur before, none of it in my family, no products, no customer, right? And today, it is so much easier than it was 10 years ago. There was no Facebook ads, there was no Instagram, there was no Twitter ads. You couldn't just pay for results. And the whole point of what I do now is to help empower ordinary people to lead extraordinary lives by rethinking social media, rethinking their time, rethinking their money. And we have a whole series of books that are written about these topics to really just let people find out that it's not their fault that they're where they are today. Most people are very upset with where they are financially, and they don't know why. The reason is we're learning from an educational system that's hundreds of years old, and it's going to take generations to change. So we can't wait for that. So what we do is we fix it ourselves. We focus on us, we fix it, and we move from there. And that's what I've done. In fact, I have a company and a foundation for children called Financial Freedom, teaching children and teens how to become financially free before they ever leave school, how to learn the skills that we never learned in school. We have many children right now earning more than their parents, and they're not even teenagers, right? It's pretty incredible what you can do on the internet these days, right? It's literally pressing buttons. It's literally child's play. Anything that's holding you back is just the voice in your head. That's all it is. You know you can spend money on the internet, which means you're already making it, which means you're only one step away from making it from you. And this guy inspired me. He was a 13-year-old that came to the workshop with his dad, and he'd made 150 pounds in 11 minutes. And all the adults in the room were like, "What did you do?" He said, "Well, exactly what he said," right? Because kids just get on with it, while adults usually try to figure out why it won't work for them. So don't underestimate the ripple effect that this can have with you by making a change tonight to say, you know what, I'm learning this. This is happening. I am engaging. I'm going to make this happen right away. I never thought I could have the impact that I'm having today. Where we launched this program in South Africa last June, we had 55,000 children at the first event. We gave them all free copies of our book, and truly it's inspirational to see the impact you can have on people all over the world by following the same 4-step process. So quick recap, right? You pick a niche where it's super simple to make money in: health, wealth, happiness. Then the people will come, because people have those problems. They never stop complaining about them. Pre-corona, it was people wanted to be healthier, wealthier, happier. In the middle of the pandemic, people want to be healthier, wealthier, and happier. In 6 months from now, same thing. We build a database. We automate the process of making money, and you need support. Don't kid yourself. You need help. Whether it's with Darren and trading in the stock market, as I found, you need help. Whether it's learning how to build an online business, you can't be the smartest person in the room. You need to be learning from somebody who's been there, done that, that gives you the confidence, that shows you what you don't know yet. And some of my clients are Johnson & Johnson, Booking.com. I'm sure you'll have heard of them before. I charge £10,000 a day to go in and consult. My one-to-one rate is now £85,000 plus VAT. It's booked up for the next 16 months. I'm not taking anybody in. Why am I telling you that? Believe me, it's not I'm trying to be arrogant or anything like that. It's exactly the opposite. It's because when I started, I was charging 30 euros an hour after a year of doing this, 30 euros an hour. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm so expensive. And my coach was like, Paul, you're so cheap. The reason I'm sharing with you is to think this: what else could you start learning right now that you can add that much value that people would be willing to pay you hundreds, if not thousands per hour for your skill set, right? And you're starting from scratch. You could literally, in 5 weeks from now, you can be in the top 0.5% most knowledgeable people on the planet in how to make money on the internet. It is the most valuable business skill you can learn right now. Not social media, but how to make money from it. And this is the difference. Look at how this works here. You've heard of Google before, I'm sure. We go to Google when we have a problem and we type it in, like this example here where it says, I want to lose weight. And what do we see? We see these websites offering to sell us stuff. We're familiar with that. We don't even think it's a problem. What if I could show you a magical website? That's number one, it's free. 2, you'll have heard of it before. But when you type in the problem, it doesn't give you websites selling you stuff. What if it could give you a list of people who have just said they have that problem? Type in yes if that might be of interest to you, right? Type in yes right now if that might be of interest, that you could actually see people who've just said they want to lose weight. Just 2 oh my God yeses. Okay. Now I teach all of the different social networks, all of the popular ones, right? But I'm going to convince you with something here that you'd least expect, right? It's not the one you'd naturally think of when it comes to business, or at least up until now. I'm going to convince you with Twitter. If you type into Twitter, I want to lose weight, look at what happens. You get all of these strangers, like Carla here, saying, I want to lose weight. Linda, I'm watching the meerkat manor. I want the same metabolism as a meerkat. They lose 5% of their body weight and need to eat lots, right? Caitlin, I only want 2 things: to lose weight and to eat, right? Denise, I only want 2 things in life: to lose weight and to eat. These 2 should meet. And if you scroll down, there are hundreds more strangers saying the same stuff. All I want in life is to lose weight and gain money, yet instead here I am gaining weight and losing money. All of these people saying they need to lose weight. Now, you might be thinking, and I understand this, Paul, that is amazing, in fairness to you, but I have a job and I don't know anything about weight loss. I don't have any products. It'll probably take me a year to figure that out. Hold your fire. Here's the amazing news. You don't need to have any products in weight loss. You don't need to know anything about weight loss except who sells weight loss products that people might have heard of. Weight Watchers, for example. You can literally go to the Weight Watchers website, click on the button they have for partners, sign up for free. They'll ask you for your email address. They'll ask you for your bank account details. You'll freak out and you're going to say, stranger danger, don't give anyone my bank account details. The only thing you can do with bank account details is transfer money in. That's why they want them, so that they can pay you a commission. Because when you sign up for free and give them your bank details or your address if you want to check, they give you a unique link to sell their products. So maybe they've got 50 products, you could get 50 links. Or if they have 5 products, you get 5 separate links that are all yours. And you could recommend that the latest 5-2 Weight Watchers product or C9 to any of these people who have heard of Weight Watchers already. And if they buy from that, you get paid. You get paid, even though you've nothing to do with Weight Watchers, you've not created the product, you haven't been investing millions in the brand over the past few decades, you just go and get paid. Type in a little wow if that makes sense. Just a little wow. We don't even need to do capital W's, just small little wows, because we're only getting going here, right? Because I'm hoping this starts to make you rethink this whole thing. Now, if you were with your friends, by the way, you would say, look, that's what I'm talking about with Twitter. It's full of mad people. It's full of lunatics saying they need to lose weight. What's wrong with these lunatics? Why would you do that? Why do people complain? You are thinking social media. You're not rethinking it. You should be thinking, oh my God, look at these lunatics. They've just said they need to lose weight. They've shared the fact with 350 million strangers. Do you think they might be ready to do something about it? Of course. Of course, if they're going to publicly go and tell people, right? If they're going to go and publicly tell people, most of them are going to be ready to do something about it. By the way, that's only one example. You can type in any problem. How do I trade the stock market? What is cryptocurrency? How do I get a new job? What is furloughing? How do I interview better? How do I find a better partner? How do I get my child to sleep during the night? Whatever the question is, you will get a list of all these people saying they've just had that problem. What an incredible opportunity. And starting now is an even better time than ever before because of this. We talked about Tony briefly earlier, Tony Robbins. He's got 3 million followers. If you click on them, you can see who they all are, right? Which is pretty incredible in its own right. But when you learn how to use Twitter advertising, now you're coming to the dark side. Now you're coming to rethink social media. Now you're ready to make some serious money. Because you can get Twitter to get clicks to your website. Now, when you hear website, like when I used to hear website, I think a big, expensive, fancy, glossy website. No, we're talking about a one-page, enter your name, email address to get this gift. You've clicked on one today to get here. You click on them daily. Super simple to do. So you tell Twitter who you want your message in front of, and they'll give you clicks. Or even better, it says conversions. What that means is you only pay when somebody gives you their email address. That's what a conversion is. You only pay when you get an email. Remember, £1 per person per month. So if you're spending 70p and you're getting your email and you know they're worth £1 per month, suddenly you're thinking, hang on a second, I need to spend a bit more time on this. What if you're sending people to a sales page where you're selling something? Now the conversion is a sale. Now you only pay for the sale after you make the sale. Let me repeat that because you probably think you heard that wrong. Now you only pay for the sale after you make it. Think about that for a second. As one of my accountants says, he says, Paul, you don't teach business. You teach magic. You teach magic. He said, business is about going to the bank, convincing them with this book of fiction that which you call your business plan, that in 3 years you'll somehow be break even and hopefully you'll survive a couple more years. You go out and take a massive loan out. You work 80 hours a week to avoid a 40-hour-a-week job. But with what you're doing, you get paid before you take the risk. I said, I know. He said, I don't think you understand. Oh, I said, I do. I said, I don't think you understand. Sure enough, he stopped exchanging time for money. He's now changed his entire business model so that he doesn't do what he used to do, right? And he said he couldn't believe it took him so long when he saw 5/6 of all his clients go out of business, and yet he was running a similar type of business, right? That's the beauty of this. It's completely transformed the way business works. It's been there in the background. People completely dismissing it because, like most people do, oh, social media, oh, Twitter, Twatter, whatever, right? And they just don't know what they're missing out on. Type in magic if you're starting to get the power of this. Type in magic right now if you're starting to see, oh my God, what have I been missing out on right now? Okay? Look at this, by the way. This is so good. Some of this is so good, it should be illegal. Add keywords. You type in the words of anything that you want to get in front of. So people that say anything, like I mentioned earlier, how do I get my ex back? How do I stop smoking? How do I lose weight? How do I don't know, whatever it is, any problem that you hear all of your friends saying, it will put your message in front of them from now on. How do I rent a property in Leeds? How do I find an investor for a property here? But does anybody want to do a house exchange in XYZ? Television targeting. You can target people based on what they're watching. So right now, on the UK, they're showing repeats of Love Island, right? You could be targeting people watching Love Island. You can say, would you like your own personalized water bottle that they're drinking out of? You don't need to make them. You can sign up as an affiliate to Superstore and sell theirs. Would you like to get their magical white teeth that they have on Love Island? Guess what? Click here. You can make an absolute fortune just from your bad television habit. Because if people are watching a political debate with Boris Johnson and whoever else, just say Jeremy Corbyn, you could at the same time saying, do you hate Boris Johnson? Why don't you buy your Hate Boris Johnson t-shirt? Do you hate Jeremy Corbyn? Why don't you buy your Hate Jeremy Corbyn t-shirt? Do you love Boris? Buy my Love Boris t-shirt. Love Brexit, hate Brexit. It doesn't matter. You make money from each side. You might say, Paul, I don't make the t-shirts. Who said you need to make the t-shirts? Go to a t-shirt website, sign up as a partner and sell their stuff. Love Trump, hate Trump. Love Brexit, hate Brexit. Sell what people want. Step back, let the money flow. Stop judging how others spend their money. It's their money and they're going to spend it the way they want. Are you getting this? Type in OMG if you had an OMG moment right there, right? Because the more fanatical people are about their beliefs, the more money they're going to spend showing to others, I love him or I hate him or whatever it is, pro-vegan, anti-vegan. It's not about what your opinion is. It's what other people will do with their money to express theirs. Add followers is so good it should be illegal. You can type in the name of another account. And they've been doing this maybe for a decade. You rock up in 25th of June, 2020 and say, thanks for all that work, but Tony Robbins, I'd like to get my message in front of your 3 million followers. And Twitter say, no problem. In fact, we've got what we call follower lookalikes, where we can get your message in front of 45.9 million of his people. What do you think about that? Yes, please. Right? If you're thinking about writing a book, forget it. Sell Tony Robbins' book to Tony Robbins' people. Sell Richard Branson books to Richard Branson people. Sell Oprah's courses to Oprah's peoples. Deepak Chopra books to Deepak Chopra peoples. Tupac Shakur's music to Tupac's people. Microsoft products to Microsoft's people. This is why I wonder why people get up and go to work in the morning. All they got to do is, why don't I sell some stuff to the people who like these people? Right? Stop getting in your own way. Step the ego out and let the money flow. Because that's how people are going to spend their money anyway, on what they want. Now you might think, well, will these guys be upset that I'm selling their stuff to their people? Of course not. That's why they allowed you to sign up in the first place, to sell their stuff, because it's a win-win. Everybody wins. Think about an example. Tony Robbins, when he comes to the UK, he was meant to be in Birmingham this June or July, whenever it was. Minimum price ticket, £800. You can run an ad in front of people in the UK saying, guess who's coming to Birmingham? Yes, Tony. And a link to his website. They go there, they buy the cheapest ticket, £800, you get £200. They buy the most expensive ticket, £5,000, you make £2,000. He becomes your employee. He is working for you now. Are you starting to see the magic behind this? Just type in 1 if you're starting to see, oh my good God, I have totally misjudged all of this. And imagine if your business isn't doing this right now. By the way, who thinks I can help you just a little bit with your business now, or your new business that you might consider setting up? Type in please help if you think I might be just able to help you a little bit, right? I get so excited talking about this. I don't even like social media, but this side of things, different story. Different story, right? And look at what we're doing here. What if we could just target wealthy people, for example? You can target people based on whether they own a home, 23 million, or rent a home. You can target people based on the value of their home. You can target people based on whether they're in the market to buy a home. You can target people based on the type of pets that they have, cats, dogs, horses. You can target people based on the credit cards they own, the credit history, credit worthiness, excellent, 11.6 million. When you run out of them, very good credit history, 6.2 million. You can target people based on what part of the economic spectrum are they in. You can target people based on their discretionary spending. In other words, how much money they've left at the end of the month. You can target people based on their net worth, 100,000 to 1 million, 1 million plus, 1 million to 2 million. You can target people based on how affluent they are. Affluent parents. Ladies, if you learn nothing else tonight, affluent single men, 768,000. Men who are single, tick. Men who have no children, tick. Have an income of over 75,000 a year, tick. Or a net worth of over 250,000, tick, 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 tick. Ladies, the best news is you can close those Tinder accounts down. No more plentyoffish.com. It's no more swipe left, no more swipe right. Get straight to your Twitter. Your soulmate is waiting for you in the wrong network. You've never realized it. That's where they've been all along. And you can find out all the key criteria right away. I know what many of you are asking. Paul, where did they get that knowledge? Where did they get that information? That's the same question as, how does the internet work? Why is the sky blue? Why do the lights shine? It doesn't freaking matter. Wrong question. You're distracted. You're focusing on the wrong thing, just like everybody is on social media. Why did he say this? Who's this? Anti-Trump, pro-Corona, anti-Corona, all this fighting that's going on. You step out of it. Step back. Get out of the noise. It doesn't matter how it works. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. The question should be, where has this Irish guy been my whole life? As somebody asked earlier on. Thank you. How do I start doing this today? Why am I not already doing this? How do I get started immediately? They are the kind of questions that are going to get you to where you want to go. Who needs this in their lives? Type in, I need this now. Type in, I need this. If this needs to become part of your weekly or your new daily behaviors, right? Of course it is. It's completely different and it's fun. It's so fun that you can actually do this. It's like you're almost looking around your shoulder going, how is this even possible, right? That's when you know you're onto something. When nobody knows about this stuff. Like literally in the grand scheme of things, people have no idea that this is possible. Then you add in Facebook. Facebook allow you to target people who have pressed the button shop now in the past week. They call them engaged shoppers. 385 million people have pressed the shop now button on Facebook in the last week, and you can target them with your ad. You can target them based on how much income comes into their houses. Facebook understand that people are lazy, so they don't even ask them to type their email addresses. They say, just press the button and we'll type it in for you. Press the button again and they're in your list. £1 per person per month. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether you're awake or whether you're asleep, the money keeps on coming in. That type of ad, by the way, is called a lead generation ad. A lead generation ad. And we collect CVs for our own company for less than 80p. We get people sending in CVs to us for less than 80p with these types of ads. I mean, you could literally put entire recruitment agencies out of business by learning how to do stuff. This is game-changing stuff, and you could not be learning at a better time, because in 2020, I never thought I would say this ever, but ads are on sale right now. Ads are on sale, 30% off on average. You were getting 2017 prices in 2020. Why? Because small companies are closed. Small businesses are closed. They've stopped running ads on Facebook because they've nowhere to bring the people. The doors are literally shut. So you have been handed an unbelievable lifeline. Not only has more money been spent on the internet than ever before, ads are cheaper than they've been in years, and for the first time ever, you're probably so aware how tenuous your financial situation is if you continue to go the way you have been going. But if you look at this as the perfect storm, what an incredible time for us to meet to get you out of this problem. We're not we're not selling hope or hopium, as they call it, anymore. We're giving real strategies that you follow, you press the buttons, it works every single time, because we're just giving people what they want. Now, we do have Facebook ads courses, we have Twitter ads courses. They're online. They're $2,997 plus VAT. I'd advise you not to go there and purchase that right now, because I'm going to do something a whole lot better for you before we finish off today. But people that are buying these daily make 5x return, 10 times the return, even up to 100 times the return on that investment. Because once you know how to do these ads, you have an unlimited supply of multiple streams of income. Learning one thing, how to be a matchmaker, and selling over and over again. Your products, somebody else's products, it doesn't matter whatsoever. And that was Twitter and a little bit of Facebook. Instagram. Jay came to my workshop. He brought his mom, who was a teacher. He was a teacher in Manchester. He quit his job after it. He's made over £26,000, that should be, in a single hour from Instagram. Vishal came to the workshop. He's quit his job since. He made $55,000 in 3 hours from Facebook Messenger. Now, these are tools that you are familiar with, but you either get used by them or you use the tools yourself. And the beauty of this is based around people who are super busy already. It doesn't matter what age you are, what country you live in, what your technical experience is. Alfred here was working 60 hours a week as a medical professional. He sent a message saying that he was already making $200 a day. This was from starting the course before he even came to the workshop. Then as he was coming to the workshop, he was up to making $350 per day. Just to give you perspective, that's $127,000 on the side of a full-time, very, very busy permanent job. We've got James here, who started in November 2018. He's made over £2.2 million since starting in November 18. This is a WhatsApp conversation that we were having before I went on stage. £2.2 million since starting in November 18. Who would like 10% of that? Type in me, right? Or type in I want this. Who wants even 10% of that? That would be 200 grand. Even 1% will be 20 grand, right? Type in I want this now. You want these results in your life? Type in I want this now. Let your conscious, your subconscious, your unconscious, let them all know that this is happening. This isn't winning the lottery stuff. This isn't buying a ticket and hoping for the best. This is putting a plan in place and executing it and pressing the buttons in a time that people will look back on for millennia. I honestly think 2020, people are going to look back at this year for years to come and say, why was everybody not rich? Everything was there. People had these phones. You didn't even need a license for it. You just decided you were going to sell anything to anybody at any time, and nobody even asked a question, right? This is where we are right now. And again, I talked to you about the workshop, the 3-day workshop that my coaches run. We have a waiting list in place, but we're going to see what we can do. The more important thing is we start in advance of it. In fact, please make a note of this. We start this Friday. We start this Friday at 11 a.m. live. No hanging about. We're starting Friday at 11 a.m., right? That's tomorrow morning, because I want to make sure, while you are as enthusiastic as you are right now, that you grasp this with both hands and you go and you start immediately. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. we start live, and we choose your niche for you. So if you're worried about, I'm not sure what to do, not what products to sell, that's my job. You don't worry about that. All you've got to decide is you're in, that you commit to being successful here. Because the next steps are very straightforward. Well, now that you get niche and you get the social media side of it, we invite them off of social media with a free gift. We figure out, are they interested in what we have? We offer them something for free, like you've seen hundreds of times, but you learn how to do it from the other side and invite people to give their contact details. And then in private, we offer them the opportunity to purchase the best-selling services and products that exist, right? And you make a commission on every single sale. And most people find it really difficult to grasp this concept, but how do I sell other people's products? And I just say, well, every time you go into Tesco, think of it as a big empty warehouse with cash registers on one side of the store and lots of shelving. They allow thousands of businesses to stock their products on the shelves. Tesco couldn't care less what you buy, because they make a commission on every single thing. A person trying to sell their own products is like a Tesco selling Tesco branded products. People don't really want them. They want all of the other brands that they know, they like, and they trust, right? So that is exactly how it works. That's a multi-billion-pound a year business, having a company selling other people's products. You can sell anything that exists on Amazon right now. If you decided to go to Amazon when I finish here tonight to buy my book, you could have been selling that book. If you go on there to sell any product, if you go on there to buy a camera or a lawnmower on Amazon today, you could be selling that exact same product. Same with eBay. The world's leading training courses, events like Tony Robbins' where you can make hundreds, if not thousands of pounds by just letting people know that they're on. The products of experts that have a big following, your Brian Tracy's, your Les Brown, all these people you know of, you could be making money from them and off their brand by promoting their stuff. Later, you can create your own as well. But as I mentioned earlier, you will save more money in the next few months than you will actually invest in me today, just by changing your behavior in line. In the next 6 months, you will save more than you'll invest today. And then you continue to change your habits forever. I booked a cruise last year for our family, and I got a notification on email. Oh, you have just sold 3 cruise tickets. I was like, oh, I wonder who those people are, right? So it's just changing sides. You're just not aware of it because the people around you don't do it, right? Now, what about making the money from this? What if you could sell products that you could make $600, what's that, £500 or £1,600 or up to £3,500 per sale? What if you could do that? Well, you can do that from simply promoting my products. In fact, I encourage my clients to promote my stuff, because why not if they're using it already? And just like I mentioned for Weight Watchers and Amazon earlier, you go to the page, there'll be a button that says to sign up as a partner. We'll ask you for your details, and at the end of it, you get links and you can promote my stuff, which means you can benefit from any courses I'm doing. You can benefit from any products or services that we provide, right? So when I wake up in the morning, I don't go in and check what others are doing on social media. I check how many sales I made during the night. So for example, one of our programs that we have that sells on autopilot, it's ran on autopilot, it's just a membership site that people get access to. Each line here where you see a red circle, it says $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, $997, 3 payments of $397, $19, $997, $997, $997, $997. By the way, you never get tired of saying 997, 997, 997, 997, 997 when it's coming into your bank account. And of course, if you were promoting it, you could be making $300 each and every time. So, and then like if you joined a little bit late, you see here from June 13th, $17,000, June 12th, $20,000, June 11th, $23,000, June 10th, $26,000. This is like people's salaries for the year in some places. June 9th, $10,000, June 8th, $5,000. Don't know what happened that day. June 7th, $19,000, June 6th, $9,000. As I said earlier, if this isn't your plan A, you better have one hell of a plan B. Because it doesn't matter if you keep doing for the rest of your life what you currently know, this is never going to happen with a job. So why would you not allow yourself to give yourself this opportunity, right? Where you can make 204,000 in 7 days or 500,000 in 4 weeks. I'm not saying you're going to start this and be able to do this in a month. Let's be clear, right? But I'm telling you, from me, the cynic, the skeptic, wouldn't believe any of this. 10 years later, right? I look at these and I don't even get excited. They're just numbers for me, right? They're just literally just numbers for me. When I would have been working for 500 years in my old job to get to where I am today. And literally, right? I'm showing you this as someone saying the screen is frozen. And let me see. What about now, Paul? Can you see it? Anthony's asking, is there anybody here? I'm here, Anthony. I'm here. Can you see the screen now? Just type in yes. Thank you, Reinhold. Okay, perfect. Right? So again, why not open yourself to this opportunity, right? Really, I mean, for me, that's what it comes down to. Because if you continue to do what you always did, you'll continue to get what you always got, right? Now, remember though, the internet is an SCAM, a systemized cash accumulation machine. And if anybody says that to you again, you nod your head, you shake their hand and say, I agree. And you get straight back to building more systemized cash accumulation machines, because that is exactly what they are, right? And I'm telling you this as true as I'm standing here today. 10 years from now, I predict 80% of people will have online businesses. In 10 years from now, 80% of people will have them, because they'll have no choice. They'll was frozen there for a moment. They'll have no choice because over half of the jobs that exist today will be gone by then. People will not be able to rely on one source of income anymore. On the same day in London in February, I had 2 Uber drivers on the same day with MBAs saying they were waiting till they could get a job that deserved, or they'd get the salary they deserved. The old method of relying on a job for money or a traditional business, it's outdated, but people don't see that yet. It's going to take the masses a while to cop onto this. You need to be at the forefront. You need to be doing this when there is no competition, relatively speaking, out there, when ads are on sale. When you can run an ad on Facebook for less than £1 and an ad on Twitter for a penny. You heard me right. Less than £1 on Facebook, less than a penny on Twitter. 5 years from now, there'll be 2 people sitting in a bar somewhere in London, and one will say to the other, I heard back in 2020 you could run an ad on Facebook for 80p and an ad on Twitter for a penny. And the other person will say, come on now. Of course you couldn't, because if you could, everybody would have been doing it. That's exactly what people say when the opportunity is gone, right? But not you guys. You're here right now. Perfect timing for you. But the critical difference in where you're going to be a year from now all comes down to what you decide to do in the next 10 minutes. It is that important. Where you're going to be financially in 1 year from now all depends on what you decide to do in the next 10 minutes. It is literally that critically important. Because if you're serious about this and you're committed to making this happen, you need help. You need support. You don't want to put this up to chance. Life is too important. You need support. You need help, right? We never learned how to walk or talk or read or write or cycle without getting shown how. Just like as an adult, you can't learn how to get wealthy by figuring it out for yourself. But that's how we're expected to make a living. It's not your fault, guys. Right? The results that you have today have taken an entire lifetime to get to, and that's a direct result of what you already know. The results that you want from now on depend on what you start to learn from today to get brand new results. And if you look in business, if you look in sport, and you look at the common themes of the most successful people, it always comes to the same thing. They all have coaches. Why is the coach so important? Because the coach can see the finish line. The coach can see the obstacles and the hurdles that are in the way. The coach can tell you how to go, where to go, how fast to go, what to avoid, where to move to, because they have a higher perspective. And you need to get up on their shoulders and see it from their perspective. Because if you're starting from scratch, all you can see is the next step. You can't see where you're going or how to get there, right? And I want to be that giraffe for you. I want to show you and some of you how to do this starting right now, as in literally right now. We're going to be getting going so that tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock we get started. I have very, very exciting news for you, because not only do we have coaching and mentoring programs, we have a 4-day live workshop this July 28th to the 31st. Please write that date down right now, July 28th to the 31st. If you've got a funeral on those dates, cancel it. This is more important than death. July 28th to 31st, 4 days. You may have noted earlier I talked about 3-day in-person workshops. Well, that my coaches run. This is online, and it's 4 days. And you don't need to travel, you don't need to fly, you don't need to get on the train, you don't need to book hotels. It's from the comfort of your own home. You've taken a picture of this already. The best news about all of this is for 4 days, and I am personally running it. I am running this workshop, right? So when I put up the link, you really need to get in and go immediately, because this is the last time I am offering these dates, right? It's exactly a month and 3 days away. You are like 1 month away from being the top 0.5% most knowledgeable people on the planet in this topic of making money online. Remember, it took you a lifetime to get you to where you are today. We're talking a month away from being at an incredibly new level of financial success and knowing exactly what to do, right? And by the way, anybody that decides to invest in full today and pay in full, I'm going to give you my mindset mastery training completely for free to help you thrive in this crazy economy that we're in right now. It's online for $1,497, but I'm going to include that as a completely free for you today when you sign up in full. Now, Luke is another great example where he said, Paul, I earned $7,000 last week. It's going to be over $8,000 for the first time this week or next week. Who would have thought this was possible just a few months ago? I've already paid my parents back for the loan. They think I am selling drugs. LOL. I just love that comment. He sent me a message on Facebook saying, hey, brother, record week last week. Just over $26,000. Amazing. That was more than he was making in a year as a part-time primary school teacher. He sent an email then saying, hey, Paul, I made over $100,000 worth of sales in a day 6 weeks ago. Loving the journey. We had a catch up in WhatsApp in March. He made $2.3 million last year. This is the only business I know that the more you learn, the more you earn. The better it gets, the easier it gets, and you very quickly stop asking the question, why isn't everybody else doing it? Your only question will be, why didn't I start sooner? And how do I grow this even faster, right? We've had 13-year-olds make 150 pounds in 11 minutes. 11-year-olds win the competitions in our workshops, which used to be a bottle of wine, so I had to change the prize to no longer be alcohol, but he did sell it to the person next to him. His dad calls him his pension plan. Kiani, at 13 years of age, has the new record. This is from last October. He made $13,000 in 2 days. This is child's play. The only thing holding you back is the gremlin, the voice in your head, right? Believe me, all this is about pressing buttons. My job is to press your buttons so that you press these buttons on your keyboard. That's it. Because you know how to use the computer. You know how to spend money online, right? It's not hard. Joining a gym is hard. Losing weight is hard. Starving yourself is hard. Eating food that you don't like is hard. Making money online, you can do it in your pajamas. You don't even need to leave your bedroom. Just pick up your computer and get started, right? It's time you're already spending. It's based around people in a busy life already. And again, I'm teaching your children and teens how to do this. The question you need to ask yourself is this: are you ready to transform your financial future forever? Type in, I'm ready right now. If you're saying, that's it, you know what? This is happening, right? I am ready for change. No more looking back. No more stories of being a victim. No, taking full responsibility, saying, I'm ready to learn new things. I need new results in my life. If nothing else has been learned in 2020, is the importance of now you taking ownership of your own financial situation. Wow, okay, we have a ton of I'm readies. Okay, and I'm not surprised. And here is your official invitation to come work with me. Okay, starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. You don't need everything I'm including here, so don't feel intimidated. I just want to make this incredibly irresistible for you, right? So that you know that you've got more than you'll ever need to be ready for whatever the economy throws at us moving forward. It's irrelevant. You're going to be completely recession-proof here. Number one, we start tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. As soon as you sign up, you will go straight to a registration page to register for that. If you can't be there live, you have at work tomorrow morning, no problem. It will be recorded and we'll get it to you the next day. So there's no problem, okay? But live tomorrow at 11. And there's 4 more web classes that are drip fed to you before the workshop on the 28th of July. Number 2, the workshop itself. You now know the dates, 28th to 31st of July with me. I am going to be your host. I don't run many of the ones in person anymore, but I can do this one because it's literally 8 foot from my kitchen right now. Okay, so it is super easy for me to do. And normally we obviously have to book hotels, flights, we've got to get the coaches over, got to pay for their rooms, got to pay for their food and stuff and their training. I'm going to pass on all of the savings to you because literally I can do the whole lot from home. Okay, so these tickets online are £4,997 plus VAT. You can see them online, you can check them on my website. That's for the 3-day. You're getting a 4-day workshop with me. Okay. Number 3, the opt-in page. We are going to create that for you. So if you feel like you might have technical challenges, there's no problem whatsoever, because we will build this out for you. Okay, we'll build this out for you. Number 4, right? You get complete access to our help center for a year. Any questions that you have, any queries, if you have any challenges on anything, right? Our team are here to support you. We have a 97% customer satisfaction rating, which I'm so proud of. And it's a total value of $3,997. Any questions you have, we will get them covered. We get them answered. If they can't answer them, they come to me directly. Okay, so nobody left behind. No such thing as a stupid question. We're here to support you all the way through this. Your success is my success, right? People don't buy my programs because I've made them work. They buy them because you make them work. Whether you're in your 80s or whether you're in your starting out in your late teens, this is absolutely perfect, right? Number 5. You are going to get lifetime access to our trainings, lifetime access to our membership sites, okay? This is the various trainings that you'll need, like Twitter, like Facebook, like how LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, how to build your list to match whatever type of money you want to make, how to choose the perfect products to sell, the best-selling products without having to have your own, and most importantly, how to find somebody that will do all of this for you for £3 to £4 an hour, right? crazy low amount of money, but that means you learn this and then you get somebody else to do this for you. Lifetime access, that's extremely conservative at 10,997. By the way, there's lots of bonuses in the membership side as well. And this will all be drip fed to you. Super simple. We tell you what to do. Next step, you just literally follow exactly what we show on the screen. Pause and implement, pause and implement. Okay. Number 6, the Facebook and Twitter ads training that I told you and showed you already is online for £2,997. I told you not to go buy it online because I'm going to include that as a special for Darren's group here tonight. This will be included in the membership site, your Facebook ads and your Twitter ads training, which sell online, not just like my courses, lots of courses on Facebook and Twitter ads sell for thousands of pounds online. You won't need to because this is going to be included as part of your program. Number 7, I'm going to include something in here for some of you that could completely change the results in your business if you're a business owner or if you're interested in webinars. I have a client here who made $300,000 in 90 minutes, $500,000 in 90 minutes, and another $100,000 in 90 minutes from 3 webinars that he did after I trained him on how to do it. He says, Paul, I tell everyone about the chat you gave me and how I went from making a sale to 100,000 the next day. You changed my life, man. Other than that, business is great. That's $900,000 in 6 hours. The average family in the UK spends between £900 and £1,000 a year on lottery tickets, on hoping that somehow they're going to win. The difference between a dream and a goal is having a plan. We're here today to put together a plan for you, that this is going to happen, right? And whether you're into investing or trading already, or whether this is going to be completely separate, this is not dependent on what happens anywhere else. This is you making money from your business consistently, ever growing, even more profitable with every week and every month that passes, that you can even use to build up your investment portfolio so you have more to invest and more to use. And I'm going to be including my webinar wizardry program, which is not available anywhere else online, that shows you, if you want to start making tens of thousands of dollars from webinars, whether when you want to speak or whether you want to be hidden in the background, completely your choice. I show you how to do both. That is going to be just thrown in as a bonus for anybody that joins today. There are so many business owners out there right now that this will change their business completely because they don't know how to get rid of their stock. They don't know how to get online, and this is the fastest and quickest route for them to become successful. Number 8, I'm so confident in this system that I only got to make sure that you do it, and we do that. We provide personal coaching support. We have live coaching calls. We walk you through how to make up to $4,000 from a single sale. 3 separate live calls. I'll be on them. My head coach will be on them. And we walk you through the process. You're handheld in case you have any other questions. No soldier left behind. We are here to make you successful. That's why we want you to do this. I'm the product of 2 teachers. I was that person sitting in the audience. I wasn't sure, could this whole thing be true? When suddenly you realize, oh my God, I've been going up the wrong path my entire life. This is the way forward, and you can move at such speed. And we're here to help you and support you because your friends and family aren't going to have a clue about what you're about to learn. So you need this support structure. And that's what's here with this, to provide you with all the help you need for that. And we're going to help get your kids, teens, grandkids, nephews, and nieces involved. We're going to give you access to a half-day online training from next week to show them how to manage their money better, how to create a simple business within 24 hours that will be making them money within 48 hours that you can share with all of your family. I'm putting here a very conservative value of $997 because this will be life-changing for your kids and teens for the rest of their lives. Like literally up and running with the business within a day, making money within 2 days. So you're going to get a ticket to the workshop, the live coaching call tomorrow, which will be recorded, 4 more drip fed to you, the opt-in page done for you, access to our help center for an entire year, lifetime access to the training, the half-day online training for your children, and 3 live coaching sessions with you to make sure that you absolutely are fully on top of this and know exactly what to do. That's a total value of in or around £24,000. But nobody buys these things separately, right? What's the total value? The real value is what people have invested in this program. When it was a 2-day workshop, and we used to run it in Heathrow, it was $7,497 plus VAT, plus £99 per month for support. I told you earlier I was going to make this completely irresistible to you, and I am, and I can do it because I can pass on all of the savings to you. I don't need to book the hotels or flights or any of these things, right? So what we're going to do for you, and this is only the first few of you that get in, I'm going to dramatically discount your investment right now. You won't get 20% off, not even 40% off. In fact, normally it's 60% off. It's 2,997 when people do come to hotels in London, right? However, we're going to go better than that. We're going to give you over 90% off, where you are going to get everything I talked about for $997 plus the VAT. And when you pay in full, you get the Mindset Mastery program. Now, you need to go immediately. You need to go right now to bit.ly/training with Paul. So please go right now. Don't even hesitate. Just get in there straight away, because the sooner you go, I am going to give you some incredible offers, including the option to upgrade the moment that you get in, right? So bit.ly/training with Paul. Now, you may not be able to get in immediately because there's lots of you trying to get in here at the same time. I'll type it in the chat to make it even easier for you. But you need to go right now, okay? You need to go right now. bit.ly. Now, when you get in, as soon as you get in, that means you are entitled to the discount, right, of over £6,000, and the Mindset Mastery and everything we talked about. Plus, once you go in, you'll have this option to upgrade, that you can get a one-to-one call with me. So if you want to really, really fast track what you're doing here, and you want to have the opportunity to work with me directly, you'll have the option. You don't have to do this. You can think about it. It's $1,997 for that upgrade. Okay, so once you've come in and you've paid, then it would give you that option. However, Darren has convinced me to upgrade you automatically, right? So I've had to cross this out on this slide. When you get in and you've paid in full, you get the upgrade for free. You get the call with me directly, right? So you get a one-to-one call with me. So as soon as we've got the workshop done in July, you can book this for whenever you like, and this will never expire. You get this call with me whenever you like. Later this year, next year, the year after, you have my word. We can use this whenever you want. I can literally show you in person how to completely transform whatever it is you're doing. This is an automatic upgrade. When you pay in full, you get a one-to-one call with me. Yes, just me and you working together on your brand new business or the business that you already have. And this is all the same link, bit.ly/training with Paul. Training with Paul. Now, type into the chat right now, me, if you would like to bring a business partner or a family member with you to the workshop. Type in me, because I've got control of these slides here, and I need to be convinced. Would you be interested in being able to bring somebody with you, right? Type in me right now. I'm going to need to see at least 30 me's here to be convinced. Okay, well, that's not going to be a problem. Okay, wow. What I'm going to do for you guys, and I've reserved spaces specifically for Darren's group. This is the very last webinar, as I said, I'm doing where people can come to this July workshop. I've reserved spaces for you and a guest. 2 of you are coming to the workshop. That means you're getting 2 tickets to the 4997 event from home. They don't need to come to the same home as you, right? They can be in their own separate homes. But if it's your business partner, for example, 2 of you are going to come to the virtual event, right? To the online event. And it's live. Remember, all of it is live. You can come in, you can watch the whole thing live with me there, get your questions answered. In fact, what I'm going to do is this, right? What I'm going to do is this. Yeah, Madiki, yes, we can absolutely do that for you, Madiki, but you need to get in straight away. We can get that organized for you. I'm actually going to give the entire program to 2 of you, right? You and your guest. They get access to everything, right? I want to make this a complete no-brainer. So both of you, right, both of you can come to the training, the virtual training, the live training, and you get access to the entire program. Both of you. So it's 2 for 1 is what we're talking about here. 2 for 1, but you have to get in right now. bit.ly/training with Paul, but you must get in right now. That's the critical distinction. While I'm speaking right now, you need to get in. The link is in the chat also, bit.ly/training with Paul. Warren Buffett says the number one rule in investing is to never lose money. Well, I'm going to take away all your risk. I'm going to take away all your risk, right? I'm going to give you all of your money back, 997, right? With a very simple strategy. You just have to recommend, this is the matchmaking strategy. This is what I'm teaching you, right? You just have to recommend 2 people to my team, 2 people that we make the sale to. You can offer the same price of 997. They won't get the one-to-one with me, and it won't be a 2-for-1, right? But it'll still be incredible value, right? They're still getting everything that we talked about without the 2-for-1 and without the 1-to-1 with me. We'll make the sales for you. You don't even have to push it. You don't have to sell it. You just send them to us. And there's no time limit on this, whether it's next week, next year, the year after. You recommend 2 people, I give you your money back. Personally, I give you your money back. Why? Because I want to show you the beauty of matchmaking, right? So you've got a money back guarantee. You can do this at any time. Get all of your money back just by recommending the 2 people to us. We'll make the sales for you, and you get your money back. So, and that is open forever. So at any point, you can have your money back forever. Right? Without even starting the product, without even starting, you can get your money back, right? And Warren Buffett also says investing in yourself is the most important investment you'll ever make in your life, right? Now, he's consistently the wealthiest person in the world over the past 40 years. The question you got to ask yourself today is this, right? Am I worth an extra £1.63 per day? That's your investment. Between the 2 of you, it's £1.63 per day. You cannot even get a cup of coffee with that. In today's world, there's very little you can get for that. And that's not forever, that's for a year. £1.63, if you're a business owner, this is a write-off against your company, right? This is a write-off against your company. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever, right? There's absolutely no reason whatsoever not to do this, because at the end of the day here, £1.63, do you want to have 1 less cup of coffee every 2 days? Right, that's what we're talking about, 1 less cup of coffee every 2 days? Or do you say, nah, I'm not sure if I can afford it? Because this is what we're talking about in real terms, right? In practice, pay yourself up front, right? You are worth hundreds of times over this. Pay the price today so you can pay any price in the future. Like, if you can't afford this, literally right now, if you say you can't afford it, we have a payment plan option in there for you, right? We have that in there for you. But you know that at this point in your life, you can't afford 997. Something's gone wrong with the system you're following. And by continuing to follow it, that isn't going to fix it, right? And handouts aren't going to fix that either, right? So, and it doesn't, and Natalie, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, because we have clients from New Zealand to Canada and everywhere in between, right? From a huge contingent in South Africa, we've got them in countries, at least 40 to 50 different countries around the world. It doesn't matter where you're based. It doesn't matter how the economy or the currency is going in your country, because you can target your audience wherever you like in the world. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't matter what happens in the external environments. You can sell anything to anybody at any time, anywhere. And that includes your own products and services if you want them. If you want to be an author or a speaker and you want to get out there, you need to do this to grow your influence, to grow your brand. But if you want to be hidden in the background and just make the money, it will absolutely work for you. So I want you to think about that £1.63 number, because it's tiny. It's infinitesimally small. But that can be the number that changes your life. And if you don't think you're worth that, that's fair enough. I'm not here to convince you of otherwise. But I will tell you this. As a person who was incredibly skeptical, who didn't believe any of this, who actually turned out didn't want to believe any of this, now tens of millions later, I'm like, my God, this has to be my duty to wake people up to see the paths that we're on is going one way only, deeper and deeper into debt, right? We know we're getting busier. We know that the stress rates are going up. We know that people are dying younger because of heart attacks, because of stress, because people are running and chasing the money without actually understanding that you don't need to exchange time for money anymore. The world has changed. The wealth, there are 1,200 new millionaires being made per day in the US right now. 1,200 new millionaires every day. How do you think that money's been made? I can tell you one thing, not by having a job. Right? I'm not saying stop your job. That's not my message at all. It's what are you going to do on the side? that you no longer need to rely on it, that you become your number one support structure around your money, that you're not relying on anybody else anymore. We are here to support you every step of the way. 997 plus VAT for everything I talked about, bit.ly/training with Paul. You get the Mindset Mastery for free. You get the one-to-one with me also. I really want to make this as irresistible as possible for you, right? You've got a money-back guarantee if you change, if you decide that you can recommend 2 people at any point in the future, right? We'll make the sales for you. Job done, get your money back anyway, because I want you to take advantage of the matchmaking idea. Now, here's a list of everything that you're going to be getting. Now, remember, we're starting tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. As soon as you get in, you are going to see, and let me just show you here, you're going to see what this page, let me show you what the page looks like so that you can see exactly what this looks like here, right? So let's go live to what the page looks like. So some people are saying they still can't get in. I'm not surprised, but if you keep refreshing, you should be, okay, this is what the page is going to look like for you. Okay, so you go scroll down here. Okay, you've got a 3-pay option, which if you want to come in July, we'll make sure you've got the 3-pay done by the 28th of July. Or you pay in full to get the extra bonuses and the one-to-one with me, but you need to do that while we're on live. Okay, here's the link to that. And as soon as that's done, you will then be redirected here to enter your name and email address for Friday, 26th, 11 a.m. and it will be recorded. Okay, some of you say you may have issues with coming to the workshops on those dates. No problem. Just let us know, and we will work around you. We will figure that out for you. Okay, so let me just put this up again so you can see exactly what's included in this for you. Okay, as I said, I want to take away all the risk from you. I really want you to feel, as you're looking at this, going, wow, okay, like there's absolutely no reason whatsoever not to do this, right? I spent 10,000 euros to learn how to do this. This is about 10 times better than what I learned, and it's 1/10 of the investment. And it's fun, and you're going to love this. And you'll already know if you like my style. And it's no hype, no BS. It's just, here are the facts. This is how it is. Just press the buttons. It works every single time. So Yolanda's gone. Can I have my partner? Yes, Said, your partner can come on live tomorrow with you. There's no, great question. Your partner can come on live with you tomorrow and will be able to attend. And after that, you'll have the recording so you can watch it over and over again. Absolutely no problem at all. They can watch the recording after that. Anthony's portions of it will be, but we're strongly encouraging you to be there live, because that's where I'm there to answer the questions for you. Okay, so it is a live training, as if it was in a workshop in a hotel. Any more questions for me, guys? Because I'm going to wrap up here shortly now. And I really, really hope that you decide that, you know what, no more messing about. This needs to happen. It's a beautiful supplement for anybody that's doing trading and investing right now, that you've got creating a business that's creating this money for you, and then you've got your trading, investing, making that money turn into more money. It's like the perfect machine, which is exactly how I use it, how I set it up. And by the way, with Darren, I can tell you, I had lost money on the stock market, and then I started learning from Darren. I did these courses, I did this mentoring, I went through all the stuff with Darren, and this is even when we were friends, and I even still insisted on paying him for that, because that is the value of paying for something. Because I know if I don't pay for something, I'm not going to do it. My emotions won't follow, right? That's why it's so important that you invest today. You invest your 997, because that will then invest your time into this, and you're going to make sure that you do it. But you're going to do incredibly well with whatever you do in the stock market under Darren's guidance. This, for me, is the most perfect supplement to start to build up that stockpile of money that you can invest. Paul, no problem, Paul. Did you get to the link to register for the webinar? Just let me know if that happened. If not, I can put the link into you directly here, Paul. No problem. Excellent, Elaine. Great stuff. Or sorry, Eliane, or unless you've misspelled it. Oh, you got the link. Paul, you're fine then. We'll see you tomorrow morning at Monday. What if your card is lost, says Anthony? Anthony, if your card is lost, you need to find it. You need to find it. And hopefully you have more than one card, right? You've got multiple cards, credit cards or debit cards. You'd need to, if you need to make a bank transfer, Anthony, which I'm assuming is what you're asking there, you'll need to use the email address in the bottom left corner, which is info@wealthtrainingcompany.com, and Darren's team can take care of that. So just email info@wealthtrainingcompany.com and they can sort you. Yes, and VAT invoices and all of that, you have no problem. That's absolutely no problem. Okay. By the way, our average student is 52 years of age, right? They're not 21-year-olds that are using Instagram and TikTok. They're people that need financial issues resolved quickly, and they're willing to even use social media to figure that out, right? And believe me, you are going to love this. The 4 days is completely life-changing. You are going to be in a completely different space, right? If you right now are if you're on the fence right now, tell me, actually type in OTF if you're on the fence right now. Because if you're still here and you haven't invested, I know you want this, but there's something holding you back, right? Tell me, if you're on the fence, type in OTF and tell me what it is. Tell me what it is that's holding you back, right? Tell me what it is, and let me see if I can help resolve that for you, right? Because that's what I'm here. I'm here to solve your problems as much as I can. Okay, so if money is the issue, Irene, it's pretty simple, right? If you're at this point in your life and we can't afford this, it means that what you're doing right now is never going to get you out of that problem. So you choose the payment plan option, Irene, right? So you choose the payment plan, you're going to get access from tomorrow. You can start building your business and start making money even before the workshop starts, okay? And the same applies to morning, right? You go for the payment installment then, okay? Let me see. Paul, I really would like to bring my 18-year-old and my 12-year-old. What can I do about that? You'll have to choose the child that you think has the most potential. I'm only joking. Okay, what I'm going to do is this, right? I'm going to make a final an on-the-fence bonus, we'll call it, right? It's 8:47 right now, and I want to go in to see the Liverpool win the league in the next while. See, Chelsea going to do a favor. So I'm going to wrap this up. Well, I'm going to make this a simple solution for you, right? I'm going to allow you, but you have to get in right now. If you're in already, you've got this. Congratulations. Right? Absolutely, Tom. Amazing for network marketing. Absolutely amazing for that. You can teach entire teams how to do this. In fact, companies have tried to, within network marketing, they've tried to actually lock me into exclusive licenses that I couldn't train this to anybody else, because that's how valuable this is. I'm not even joking. Forever Living tried to do that I couldn't ever teach this again and just teach their people. It's incredibly valuable, and it can be, the speed that you'll make your money back is just ridiculous. By the way, if you're thinking about the money, the 997, you are not thinking of this as an investment. You're thinking of this as an expense. You don't understand that this is an asset. This is something that will make you multiples of money over and over again. You're thinking of the short-term pain. You're not thinking of the long-term gain, right? And it's not even long-term. It's short, medium, long-term gain. You have to learn how to invest assets in your life. You have this money. I know you do. You live in the UK or wherever you live in the first world. Everybody has access to it. It's your story around what your priorities are that will determine where you spend it, right? It's where that's what you'll find it for something else. Your kids, etc., which cost you money. You have to learn how to make money from this. That's why this is an asset, and it will put money into your pocket moving forward. So my on the fence bonus is this, and this is for those of you that weren't sure, right? I'm going to let you bring a second guest. You can bring 2 guests to the workshop, right? And you can thank Michael for giving me that idea with the 18-year-old and the 12-year-old. Bring both, right? You could even ask one of them to pay you £100, pay you £200 for the ticket. It's a £5,000 ticket, right? So both guests can come to the workshop, right? You don't need to tell me who they are, right? We'll be emailing you in the next few weeks. I'll be talking about it tomorrow morning as well, right? You could not get a better deal anywhere at any time. I'm giving you all the support that you need. You have lifetime access to the training. There's no downside to any of this. You're completely recession-proofing yourself in a time when people are freaking out, right? It will not, I'm going to leave you with these words, right? And by the way, 9 o'clock, the extra person expires, right? Oh, thank you, Sad. Thank you. I'm going to close it up at 9 o'clock, but these are my closing words. Whatever you decide to do today financially with that £997 plus that, it genuinely won't make an iota of a difference to my business, to my finances, to my personal situation. And that is in no way a reflection on being arrogant or cocky. It's just a fact. It won't make any difference. It won't make any blip whatsoever, right? But what you decide to do with it can be your ticket to financial freedom forever. You're already on this path. That's why you're in Darren's database. You're already looking for a better way, and I congratulate you for that. But you need to be very smart about what you do here, because whatever money that you invest today, you'll make it back again anyway, right? You know how to make money through your job, etc. But the time that you waste, the hours that you spend agonizing over it, you can never get back. Pay for shortcuts. People struggling with money use their time to buy money. People who've mastered money use their money to buy their time back. They pay for shortcuts. You need to start doing what wealthy people do if you want to get the results that wealthy people get. It starts with a really simple decision today, right? Come on board, learn how to sell anything to anybody, anywhere, at any time. Give yourself that freedom, that release, that stress release of knowing that finally you can relax. You have a clear plan of action that can set you financially free for the rest of your life. I know you can do it. The reason I'm so confident on it is because I have thousands of students just like you that did it and are so grateful that they did. What is the worst that can happen here? The worst that can happen is that you do nothing, and even still, you recommend 2 people and you get your money back. You cannot lose this money. You have an asset for life. You have lifetime access to this. You can share it with a person close to you, gets access to everything as well. Let them do this for you. Instead of outsourcing, do insourcing. Turn your children from liabilities into assets. And you can bring 2 guests so that 3 of you are going to be embarking on a new journey together for the rest of your lives. In 5 weeks, you'll be in the top 0.5% most knowledgeable people in the planet about how to make money online. Or you can say, oh, I don't know, I don't think I have the money. You know that's the wrong decision immediately. And if you keep making that excuse, nothing's going to change. But if you decide for once to say, no, this is different, I'm going to commit to this. This is going to happen. I'm not going to stop until I succeed. You win, and you win every single time. And I want to congratulate you because you're going to be my next success story. And I'm really excited to be working with you guys. Thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you so much for your lovely comments, by the way, that came in. Really, really appreciate them. And I also want you to remember, we start tomorrow at 11 o'clock live. If you can't make it, no problem. It will be recorded. Thank you, Darren, again. Thank you all of the team. I'm looking forward to working with you guys. Take care and have a wonderful weekend ahead. And those of you that weren't sure, please jump in. You've got 7 minutes to make that decision. Make the right one. You won't regret it. Thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And for everybody who's still online, I would just say, as I said right at the start, I always try and find the best people, the best of the best. Paul has helped me tremendously with my social media. If you ever want to learn this stuff, you ever want to know how to make money online, I highly, highly recommend you join Paul. He's the best person I know at doing this. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to leave that screen up there for the next kind of 6 minutes. Anyone who was on the fence, I suggest you grab that now. And yeah, thank you to Paul for joining us this evening. So good night to everybody, and I'll leave that screen up there for kind of the next 6 minutes. Incredible offer.